I haven't walked these neighborhoods since the 80s, dude. We were super working class, Rust Belt type city.
How close is the hood to the really rich area here?
A block away sometimes.
They'll just drive by and pop into the windows?
If it bleeds, it leads. It's on every local news channel. It's on the newspaper. This is old money. This is the money that started the city and the state right here.
You don't see dates like this in the US. 1412.
We had 20 years of you didn't want to be here, everybody left.
German used to be the language on the streets here.
They sell these lots for like $1. This is like bathing water right here, man.
Honestly, I feel we're doper in Chicago. It's just that there's some conditions that keep us from exhibiting that.
Good morning from Chicago. But today is not about Chicago. It's about going up the shores of Lake Michigan to the lesser known city of Milwaukee. When I think of Milwaukee, I'm thinking of the old school sitcom Laverne and Shirley, bad watered down beer, and decaying industry. But in all honesty, I have absolutely no clue what I'm talking about. Today we have the great privilege to meet up with a local who said he can dive us in to all different sides of the city and give us, his words not mine, an eye-opening perspective. Let's do it. Let's go to Milwaukee. Milwaukee, first impressions, totally different than I thought it was gonna be.
I hope so, man.
Wow.
Right, it's like a real city. This is what's called the Commission Row. They did all the fruit and vegetable stuff here. So for about 120 years, old school Italian produce vendors, fruit guys, selling everything, dude. And so a lot of it will come up from Chicago or the Mississippi and then down the Wisconsin River to the Milwaukee River. So this was like a warehouse district and like a produce commercial district.
So the 414, I'm gathering that's your area code.
That's the area code, yeah.
And you're representing Fred.
That's another way of saying Milwaukee, man.
You're born and raised, Fred?
I was born in Romania and emigrated here in 1976.
How old were you when you came over?
3.
Okay, so your whole life's been here pretty much.
Yeah.
Milwaukee to me is one of those I know nothing about cities.
Yeah.
It's an underdog, fair to say, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's changing a lot. I think, sport has a lot to do with that.
Okay,
I think we have a world championship basketball team here a couple of years ago. One of their main guys, Giannis, is also has an immigrant story. That's that immigrant underdog story that we love. He kind of comes here as an 18, 17-year-old, doesn't know anything about the city, much like you. He's like, man, I'm going to make a name for myself. Plays the game, and all of a sudden is a champion. And so we all rooted for that because we know what it's like to come from nothing and win something. Let's take a ride through the city.
Very clean, very clean.
Yeah, it's super clean, right?
So Milwaukee, back in the day, booming industry, steel, right?
Well, a lot of that. Milwaukee was like huge small engine city, Briggs & Stratton, Harley Davidson.
Yep.
A.O. Smith used to do a lot of that stuff. So we were super working class, Rust Belt type city. And for a while we were a top 10 city, And then a
50s,
lot of this
60s it started coming down?
70s, late 70s is when it started going down, man, yeah. We produced everything from the war. I went to a high school that was part of the war effort for like World War II, dude. Like Milwaukee was a top 10 industrial city. Think of like Manchester in England.
Yeah.
That's what Milwaukee was.
Okay. When did it hit rock bottom and when did it start coming back out?
I'd say like the 80s were pretty bleak, man. Bland, gray, like nothing going on. And then it started to rebound, honestly, like 20 years ago. So we had 20 years of you didn't want to be here. Everybody left. My generation went to New York, LA, world cities to do what they wanted to do because there was no opportunities. Around 2000, man, it started to change. There was like a foodie scene starting, There was like small manufacturing happening in these industrial parks. And now it's kind of sustaining itself. And it's because of people wanting to stay and live here. Mostly because everyone's nice, man. We want to get to know you. We want to, live hard, play hard, and enjoy a drink or two. But that's kind of like the Midwestern lifestyle, man.
So Fred, you're not
a lot of pretense.
You're not going to give us the North Korean tour, are you?
Yeah, no. I mean, it is. I mean, we'll get to some shady areas where it's rough. I mean, we've got some a youth problem here that's running wild. We like to call them the Kia boys. I like to call them the Kia children. because they're kind of reckless and they're stupid and they don't really know the consequences to their actions. Like, they know what they're doing, they just don't know what's going to happen to them because of they're doing it.
They're stealing Kias.
Yeah, that started here, man. Per capita, dude, if you had a Kia, man, every day, like 30 cars would get stolen. I don't have to go to the country if I want nature. I can just go to the lake.
It looks like Florida water.
Think so?
Bit, you know,
Okay.
it's turquoisey, pretty deep blue.
Well, today's a good day. Yesterday, man, you didn't want to be here.
You have a river down here.
That's a lagoon, actually. These
Lagoon.
stairs will take you right to the lake. My friends are actually sitting right down there. It's like not even planned. What's up, Melissa?
Hey, Fred, what's going on, man?
What's up, young man?
How you doing?
Good to see you. Hey, girl.
How you doing, sir?
I know, I love it.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Peter.
We're making a video of Fred in Milwaukee.
Oh, sweet. We always seem like we're a little bit younger than other cities that are growing, developing, doing things that we all vibe off of. It's like, oh, you know, we're still the little brother or sister slightly.
You feel like you're under Chicago's shadow, maybe?
Well, honestly, I feel we're doper than Chicago.
Yeah.
It's just that there's some conditions that keep us from exhibiting that.
Oh, interesting. Like what, if you don't mind me sharing?
Media,
Media.
the story,
Okay, so bad image, stereotypes.
stereotypes, improper storytelling. Well, I don't want to say improper.
No, I think sometimes they just leave out the meat. They just
There you go.
they just leave out the stuff that matters, and they just handle the
You know what
outside, the garnish.
I think it is too with information. You go off the last bit of information you've received. For example, in Mexico City, everyone thinks it's super dangerous. You can go there and have a great time. They're great parts of the city. Before it was way worse. Milwaukee, I'm thinking Laverne and Shirley, bad beer in an industry, and I know nothing because I haven't heard anything since.
Right.
To be honest.
Right.
So that's what we're doing here. We're smashing all of that stuff.
That's exactly it. That's why we appreciate you here, man.
Yeah, so Reg is one of our well-known, established, badass kicking artists in town.
Oh, cool.
And so he's in the art museum. He's got a permanent exhibit there, kind of leading, changing and shaping the way young kids approach to like what art can do and how you can express yourself. So Reg has been doing it by example, man, for how long now? 20 years?
20 years.
20 years?
or so.
Yeah.
And then I met Melissa, and then we really got into the conversation of what we're talking right now. You know, what's the difference between being an artist and being a brand? What's the difference of what might be considered fine versus what is accessible? So accessibility links in directly to what we're talking about right now. How are we more accessible to the rest of this country?
This has changed a lot here, man. This used to be in the 80s and the 90s, like all artist studios and warehouses. They'd have like booze cans and like raves and on the tops of these places, and then developers came in and like turned these, you know, into like condos and This right here on the corner, this red thing, used to be a shoe polish factory. This is my first job in America. The offices were here, and then I used to have to clean all of these windows, man. And across the street was a gay bar called the M&M Club. So I'm cleaning the windows and I'm getting catcalled. And I'm like, what the is that? And I'm like, oh, dude, the old gay guys are catcalling me.
How old are you?
12, 13, 14.
Oh.
Right? So I didn't know, right? And I'm like, oh, this is a little bit weird. So I would do that first before happy hour so I wouldn't have to deal with it anymore. Then I'd go inside and clean like the ashtrays. My mom and my Oma, they used to go upstairs and like do like, you know, like the factory floor, and then they would do like the commons area and stuff while they still work here 9 to 5. It was crazy.
Not even that long ago.
No, not even that long ago, man. This was like in the 80s, dude. So this is what, 40, 35 years ago? This hosts one of the only water-powered elevators, one of 2 left in the neighborhood. So they use the water here from the Milwaukee River to put in these like 55-gallon tanks of like tubs or like, and like they lift the elevators going from every floor to every floor.
It still works. It still works.
Still
like
works,
that?
man. Wow. And so that's one of the unique things about the Milwaukee River is, you know, he was smart enough not to go fully industrial, you know, and get like a mechanized elevator. He kept the old stuff. Back when I was working here and my folks were working here, none of this was developed, man. You didn't have a river walk. None of it. It was
This is all new, huh?
factories, right? Yeah.
How's this river? I mean, it's not looking
It's
too
pretty clean,
but-
man. It's
really?
just muddy now because it rained.
Okay.
So
Great.
it'll clear up. It's pretty, man, they drudged the out of this, dude.
So you got a nice boardwalk here.
Yeah, it goes all the way up to the Bucks Arena, man. So it's about a good 2-3.5 mile walk.
So you could have a boat here and cruise out to the lake.
Yeah, you can if you wanted to. Yeah, they have tours. They have a lot of people doing it. I take the walk to get around the city because it's pretty easy that way.
First impressions feels like a city in transition between its old industrial blue-collar days.
The original railroad connector, man.
Right, but then it's got all this newness. I mean, what does an apartment cost up there, do you think?
Those go from like $950 to $1,500 a month.
One bedroom?
One bedroom, yeah.
Okay, so these days that's quite cheap. So this is a normal old neighborhood?
Yeah, man. These are all called walk-ups, kind of Polish flats, where you kind of walk up to them and there's like a lower entrance, and the lower entrance is kind of, you can see the windows there.
So that's who immigrated here at the turn of the century?
In this neighborhood.
But you had a lot of Eastern Europeans come here, right?
Lots. Germans in the 1820s and the 1840s, they were called the 49ers. So they were kind of like this progressive group of Germans that left Germany and started like the Turnerverein, which is like the sound mind, sound body people of like doing athletics and stuff. So that's more on the north side of the city. This is National Avenue. So this is kind of like now turned into like a Latino neighborhood. It's kind of cool. This used to be my high school. It's called Bradley Tech now. And it had its moment where it wasn't that great, but now it's on this rebound, man, because the city's producing more of those jobs. So they come to the tech high school, then they go to the tech college, and they graduate in 4 years, man, they've got a great selling job. Why not?
What a neighborhood.
It is. This is a great neighborhood.
Stuff. This is so cool.
So yeah, this is a bunch of artists working here.
So what's filling the vacuum with the economy here? What's coming in?
I think people's own startups, man. You've got some marketing guys here, some tech bros. Then you've got the nightclub over here with drag shows called Hamburger Mary's.
Touch my bike one more time and I'm gonna kill you. How's crime here?
It's getting a little worse, man. There's a club up the road right here, had a couple of shootings this year. Shot the windows out. That's pretty gnarly. You could still see it boarded up.
Oh yeah,
that's not
right
cool.
Up there.
Yeah. So kind of like this neighborhood kind of goes back and forth. Maybe after midnight you don't want to be around here.
Okay.
And then you've got brand new construction over there, condos, and you've got some restaurants over there. You've got a brewery down the block. But yeah, man, it can get a little sketch around here.
So they'll just drive by and pop into the windows?
Yeah. Once that one was like that, and one happened from the inside or right out in front of the doorway, I guess.
I missed out. I should have gotten that. What do you got there?
It's called a hot mess.
Is that a Milwaukee delight?
It's definitely not. I don't know if it's a Milwaukee delight. These guys came up with it.
Okay.
There's like a bratwurst of sausage in there.
Oh, nice.
Scrambled eggs, avocado, cheese. It's a hot mess of really healthy and heart attack food.
And I went pretty healthy here.
You did. You're on the road, man. You deserve it.
For the bowl. Okay, so with the neighborhoods we're going to, you said this is a very segregated city, segregated by the highways?
By the highways and
like most U.S. cities, right?
That, yeah, mostly, and the valley. And so we're kind of on like the south side of the valley right now. And so the valley has these like viaducts, like bridges that connected the north side to the south side. And so historically, that's where the segregation line was, the south side of the viaduct, National Avenue. Mm-hmm. This is predominantly white, Polish working class. A lot of Mexican immigration here that's kind of blended. The north side was relatively mostly black. And, you know, with old European kind of like German population that kind of mixed with, you know, Hasidic Jewish population. And now it's just mostly all black in the city. And then like around the city edges is kind of like this blend of working class families that kind of have jobs that are all kinds of races.
Yeah.
But then the further like in the central, this more middle of the city, it's pretty hood. It's pretty bad. Not so much homicides, those are down, but it's GSWs, man, gunshot wounds. And so a lot of it is beef with people who are quick-tempered, don't know how to handle themselves. A lot of youth, man, 14, 15, 16-year-olds shooting people just because they're angry, they didn't get their way or something. So like conflict resolution, you know, is resolved now with gunfire.
So what's going to happen to these kids when they're 14, 15 doing something like that?
You know, juvie court's going to turn them around real quick. They have a place, there's no juvie jail anymore. State got rid of that.
Okay.
It was too far out of the city. It's poorly maintained, poorly run. So these kids basically get slapped with misdemeanors and they're right back on the streets. And so a lot of these dudes, by the time they're 18 or 19, man, they've got a rap sheet a mile long. You know, they become hardened by that. Sometimes sometimes they get tried depending on how bad the crime is as adults. And as children, you know, they, depending on the severity of the crime, they're doing time before they're 19. Like hard time, 20, 30 years crime.
Ooh.
That's pretty crazy.
Right.
And there's a backlog of all that stuff because there's so much of it. And so by the time these kids actually get a court date, it's like a Zoom meeting with like a lawyer, because there's a lot of lawyers that I know that handle this. And like they just want to process and turn it over quickly, and then they just give them a second chance. Now that the state's gotten involved, they've gotten a lot tougher with like bail. You know, there's some cats in the city that have, because of these epidemics, this crime, the crazy driving, the reckless driving, always high. I mean, there's a lot of weed. You probably smelled already around here. It's probably no different than any other city. Some dude ran down like a Christmas parade in one of the suburbs, and like the suburbs got like nasty on Milwaukee, and the DA said you got to be way tougher on these dudes, and like let him out on like $1,000 bond, and he killed like 7 people, ran him over with his car, straight down a parade.
$1,000 out.
Yeah, and then the next day, I mean, he was in there for like other crimes too, because you know, the dude's just, you know, it's not a good human being, right? And the dude had no remorse. You know, the trial was like a mock trial. He was like trying to defend himself.
Right.
He didn't know the law. He didn't know what he was getting into. So he's got like multiple life sentences. And so everyone is kind of associating this reckless driving and these gunshot wounds and this crime with the city of Milwaukee, which is true. Now it's kind of spreading everywhere. It's hard to maintain that. That's the bad and it's the ugly of the city.
Yeah, I mean, first impressions, I come in here and it looks really good. Very clean, very clean.
I mean, this is
a lot
like
of
very,
smiles. People look at you in the eyes.
Do, and there's a lot of eye contact, and people are like generally happy to meet you, man. It's just there's like a small part of it, and the problem with the small part of it is that everyone just makes a mountain out of it, and it's you know, it's really not all of us, man.
Yeah.
It's very an isolated 10% of what goes on here, but we like to, like, you know, if it bleeds, it leads. It's on every local news channel. It's on the newspaper. And so, like, what Reg was talking about, the narrative of the story of the Milwaukee, like, you know, like news, that's all they focus on, man. And like, Reg, no one talks about Reg, really. I mean, they do, but it's kind of like, oh, he's the starving, struggling artist, right? And so, like, the narrative is it's skewed, and it, like him, pisses him off. So this used to be a really nasty old-timey bridge. This is like the big separation from the south side and to the north side. In the 60s, man, these bridges were just overrun with protesters and basically looking for fair housing and equity and all those things that most, you know, human rights.
Redlining going on here?
Yeah, a lot of that. And so like in my neighborhood where I grew up, there was some of that. And they teach courses of it at the universities in town with, you know, all the realty companies and banks that participated in it. So like it's an effort at school or in colleges to kind of explain how that happened. And
so a lot of people don't know what it is. The simple answer, I believe, is there are, like in Chicago, there are 4 different tiers of different, you know, good economic zone, pretty good,
right,
you know, not so good, and then terrible. And the terrible, they're not going to give loans to because the banks knew the defaults were much heavier there.
That's right.
And those happen to be the neighborhoods where there are more ethnic minorities, a lot of blacks, right?
Right.
So you could be white and live in one of those neighborhoods and not get a loan. Also, it didn't necessarily like tie into your race exactly, but just by default, the neighborhood you lived in.
That's right. Determined
that, right? Do I got that right?
No,
but pre-48, I think it was like illegal for blacks to live in certain places.
Yeah.
That changed in 48.
Yeah. That's about right.
And then redlining, I think, was what, 68 or
68, 67, yeah, okay. Right around there.
You got some Art Deco going there. That's cool.
Yeah, that used to be our tallest building for the longest time, man.
All right, guys, little break from the video and a big announcement to make. I have a new membership page with all sorts of content that you won't find here on YouTube. Many of you have asked me, hey, Peter, what are your opinions on some of these more sticky, deeper dive issues? Do you have any travel stories? Do you have some behind the scenes footage? Yes, yes, and yes. So that will all be here on the new membership page. We have 3 tiers set up. Every tier gets that content. The top tier even gets things like signed postcards from me. Basically, this is a place for us to connect at a closer level. A lot of the videos will be raw without any editing, but really a place where I can explain what I'm learning on these journeys. It's actually most of the time in these videos, it's about us listening to the subjects I'm meeting up with. And the goal is always to get into someone's way of thinking, see what perspective they're coming from, make your own opinion. You can agree, you can disagree, that's your choice. But there are many things that don't make the videos. More deeper dives of my thoughts and explorations and discoveries. Some of you have asked me how you can support the channel. This would be a great way to help support the channel. Also going to be doing question and answer videos. It's going to be cool. There's going to be all sorts of stuff going on. So if you're a fan that wants more content, this is the place for you. Nothing's changing on YouTube. Everything's still free on YouTube. A video every week, except January's. That's not changing. But if you want more, this is the place for that. Now back to the video.
Hey, say hi to Peter. Hey, Peter. What's up, man?
Hello, Peter. I'm Peter.
Peter be Peter.
How'd you know I was Peter?
Everyone in here is named Peter. Everyone cool is named Peter.
Do we need to roll the windows up or no?
Let's see. Milwaukee.
So this is where you guys are starting your new hotel, or what's going on here?
Well, that's part of it, but it's more the soccer,
It's
isn't
the
it?
soccer is the big thing. This is
Soccer.
professional outdoor soccer. Milwaukee hasn't had a pro outdoor team for decades, and this being an ethnic heritage city is prime for pro soccer. It's actually one of the largest cities in America without a pro outdoor soccer team. It's going to be 8,000 capacity stadium. You know, we believe it's actually going to be a little bit smaller than the needs, but better to be too small than too big.
Yeah, it's true. Let's walk this
That's
way. You can
not what
actually
she
see
said.
the beginning.
You didn't get my, that's not what she said, Joe.
Dude, that's a 2008 riff, dude. I'm just letting you know.
No, that's 90s Wayne's World that started.
Oh, dude, you're right. It was.
The Office,
Very Michael Scott.
The Office brought it.
stole it.
That's right.
But that's Wayne's World.
Dude. Well, let's talk about Peter and his soccer connection. Peter's like kind of the patron saint of like football. He's one of the guys that started many soccer clubs in the MLS.
More than anyone else. I've started more pro soccer teams than anyone else in the world.
Peter's the guy when
In
it comes
part
to
because
football. He's given
in
so
the rest
many
of the world,
contracts
we're not starting
to guys.
new soccer teams anymore.
This
But
is
in
the guy.
US,
So
yeah.
MLS.
I started in ML.
He started the Chicago
First
Fire.
division teams in men's and women's. The Chicago Fire and MLS.
Milwaukee and
The Chicago
helping
Red
Chicago out. Milwaukee helping Chicago. Amazing. We love them.
Like
This
we
is-
did, like we did at the Great Chicago Fire, we sent our beer down there, Schlitz beer on trains
Yeah.
to help the Chicagoans get through it.
That's right.
If you're to sum it up and condense it into the most simplistic language, what is the vibe of Milwaukee?
Great place on a great lake.
Dude, you went old school. Come on now.
What is that?
Come on.
We're on a great lake, and it's an old tagline for Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Was, Milwaukee, a great place on a great lake. It's a smaller version of Chicago. It's got less of the good and less of the bad.
Yeah,
know,
it's kind of it.
it's
We're a
a-
lot nicer though, man. We're a lot nicer.
Yeah. Well, like
Milwaukee,
Chicago is a slower paced East Coast, slower paced New York.
Right.
Milwaukee is even slower paced than Chicago.
it's true.
Peter, I'm going to blow you away with this incredible fact about Milwaukee. It is the home of the oldest European built building in the Western Hemisphere.
Come on.
Built before
St. Augustine, Florida.
older. Built before Columbus landed in the New World.
Where?
On the Market campus about 3 blocks over. It's St. Joan of Arc Chapel,
The chapel, yeah.
built between 1412 and 1431, and then dismantled and moved over here and reconstructed.
Oh, okay.
I got to
You
this
cheated a
caveat.
little bit on
There's a
that one.
caveat.
I didn't cheat. Marquette cheated.
What's this right here?
This is the Wisconsin Club, formerly the home of bank magnate Alexander Mitchell. Alexander Mitchell's son was Billy Mitchell, who went on to become one of the top Air Force generals in World War I and really started the United States Air Force and was court-martialed for his beliefs, saying that the Air Force should be independent, was later reinstated in good status. This is now Carpenter Hall. It's a dormitory for Marquette University. Back in the 1930s, it was a hotel. They had a nightclub on the first floor, and one of the performers was none other than Nat King Cole.
Oh, yeah.
This is St. Joan of Arc Chapel, and it was built in France. That's the thing.
Right.
It was disassembled in the 1960s and rebuilt right here on the campus of Marquette University.
Yeah, you don't see dates like this in the U.S. 1412. Milwaukee gives it with the architecture, I gotta say. It doesn't play around.
This is old money. This is the money that started the city and the state right here.
Okay.
So this is like the power of the states is right
when
here.
When Detroit was pretty much the wealth center of the world in the 50s, they're known as the richest city.
Milwaukee was equal or bigger because of manufacturing.
Yeah.
It was known for being a beer city. Certainly brewing was a big industry, but really it was the other manufacturing.
Right. I mean, didn't we build like the machines and the gears that made the Great Panama Canal? All that stuff was manufactured
here.
So
it was sort of like in the wake of Detroit. It was riding that wave alongside of these industrial Midwestern
they're going
cities.
Back and forth, yeah.
Right. Maybe was it better off than Chicago back in the day?
They were both growing like crazy, and they were both benefits of the great northern migration of all the black people from the South that came out up to fill jobs. There were good paying jobs up here.
So the real downturn that happened in these cities was late 60s, early 70s? Fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When all the industry left?
Yeah, it didn't really hit here hard until like the 80s though, right?
So that was the globalization that took place when manufacturing packed up and went somewhere else.
Right.
How do people feel about that? Depending on who you ask, obviously.
I think most Milwaukeeans are trying to shed themselves of the typecast of bowling, bratwurst, and beer, which goes along with that manufacturing history, and they're trying to embrace a new Milwaukee.
I believe you, Peter, but you got this jersey here, and I'm thinking I don't think it's that easy to get away from.
I may have said most Milwaukeeans. I love old Milwaukee.
Yeah, we could take that old stuff, right? And because that's like in our bones, right? But we got to put some flesh on there. We got to grow. We can't be kids forever, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we're all part of our own history.
Yeah, you can't forget that.
Making a new history.
Right, and that's what we're doing. So it's like, although we make fun of it, that's not always necessarily what we want to be defined as. Because like there's like two generations of kids that don't know anything about that. They don't know what it is to be laid off. They don't know what it is to have their dads and moms protest and picket lines. They don't know any of that. So they just grew up in since the 90s, pretty good life, man. People had service industry jobs. They kind of made their own jobs. They created their own industries. All that stuff is kind of that new vibe that these kids right now are building on. And so although they recognize that their grandfather or grandmother may have been a part of that, and that's not what they want to do going forward.
So how much are one of these homes, do you think?
$450, $500.
Wow, to live in something nice like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
When Milwaukee was expanding, this was the city limit going west.
Okay.
And so a lot of like beer barons and stuff lived out here, or executives.
Such cool architecture.
Yeah.
This is freaking cool.
On this corner here, I used to kick kids' ass.
Okay.
And then in this alley, I would get my ass kicked. Because I had a problem, as an English-speaking ESL student. I was getting trouble because I missed that alley right there. I got my ass kicked a lot.
So what was this neighborhood back in the 80s?
Pretty working class, man. It was working class whites, working class blacks. A lot of cats worked at Briggs & Stratton, Harley, or A.O. Smith. They all lived here and raised families.
So it's mixed?
It's pretty mixed. It's always been mixed, man.
How about now?
It's a little less mixed, but still everyone is cool with each other.
What's the breakdown?
Maybe 70 black, 25 white, 5% Jewish. Still here. Right here is the hospital that kind of anchors the neighborhood. This is St. Joe's. Now it handles a lot of gunshot wounds, all that sort of stuff.
So this is somewhat sketchy neighborhood at night?
Yeah, it can be. There's a lot of drug deals going down here, man. Cars will roll up, use WhatsApp to make a deal. Dudes will roll, drop, keep on going. Sometimes they get a little rowdy. Sometimes deals go wrong. You get a lot of this, man. You'll get a lot of tags missing.
Oh, tags on the cars.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So this was my route, man. And so I would do this every day for like 6 years.
He's got his tag in the window.
Yeah, it's expired.
2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of that, man. This one's expired.
So how's it feel walking back on these streets that you grew up on?
I gotta say, man, it feels the same, honestly. This house is gone. This used to be the one I hated delivering to, man, because it was like an old like Munsters type house.
Okay.
And every time I ran in there, like cats would jump out at me. It was nuts.
How you doing, sir?
What's up, young man? I had my route here like in the 80s, in the late 80s. Actually, I gotta say, it looks better now than it did in the 80s. No one cut their lawn here in the 80s, man. It was just not as nice. So this is pretty cool.
Sir, how's the neighborhood these days?
Oh, good. Neighborhood is good.
It's tight. Everyone knows everyone type place?
Pretty much.
It's my first time. I'm digging it.
Yeah, this cat's giving us a travel in the world, and Milwaukee's on his checklist, man.
Keep your eyes open.
All right.
Keep my eyes open.
These fools around.
Why they're speeding down the road?
Well, some of them do. Dodge Chargers come through here. You have to be going probably like 45, 50 miles an hour.
Comes and goes in waves, man. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Take care.
Thanks, young man.
So yeah, it's just like salt of the earth, working class,
Yeah.
grounded community.
Yep.
With some young kids ripping through at 50 miles per hour perhaps and shooting their friends in the legs or their ex-friends in the legs.
That's about right.
Sort of the vibe going on here.
It happens in rashes. It's sporadic. It's spontaneous, right? Just out of nowhere.
But they
It's
wouldn't
chill like
they
this.
wouldn't drive by and shoot two guys like you and me
No, man,
as
because we have no
tourists.
beef with them, really.
Right.
It's generally like if you have some beef with somebody, that's when that happens.
And it's interesting that it's
Like no
all
one's just gonna like dress you down and go, man, we don't like you because of the color of your skin type thing. That's like, they got to know you for something here.
I don't get that anywhere in America, anywhere in inner city America, when I'm the only white guy.
Yeah.
I've never had an issue like that at all.
Right. I mean, 'cause
like there's the white guy. Let's go at him because
No.
he's the enemy.
no,
never,
it's
ever,
no,
ever
it's
had
not,
that.
It's not like that here either, man.
Yeah.
This is Burleigh, where the Hyatt Pharmacy is. It was the old bowling alley. And it was like a double decker. It was like 3 times this tall. It had an underground parking lot. There's a diner in there. That corner joint right there used to be the ShopRite like butcher. Would win all these like state fair awards.
So every one of these places you drop the newspaper.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
When did paper routes stop being a thing?
I don't know, man. I think they should come back to being a thing because kids can earn some money. Good luck with that,
Yeah,
right?
but who buys a
everything's
newspaper these
No one
days?
does. That's just it.
Like this kid would have been doing a paper route
That's
back
right.
in the day, right?
Yeah.
There were
So-
no child labor issues with that, right? Like
I don't think
any
so, man.
age you could
Yeah.
be.
And dude, you were walking around at any time.
Right.
What's up,
Yeah.
young man?
Hey, buddy.
At any time, man, you were walking around with like 50, 60 bucks in your pocket in the 80s, dude.
So for those younger generations that don't know, you were on a BMX bike like that.
Absolutely.
You had bags with all the newspapers.
Yeah, I had that, and then I also had my wagon. In the winter, it was a sled.
Okay. Oh,
What's up,
nice,
young
on a
man?
sled.
There used to be a bad, stinky old mulberry bush there, where that one is, that would just drop the nastiest, rottenest fruit on you every time you walk through. Now they've got like arborvitaes, and it looks like an Italian garden in here. Whoever's rocking this, good for them. They were the worst customer, not anymore. That woman over there had the best butter cookies. She would leave me a tin every time. Dude riding on the street. In the 40s, it's still pretty good. When you get into the 30s and the 20s and the 10s,
As in streets.
street numbers.
We're
yeah.
on 48th,
Yeah, we're on like 47th and Burleigh right now.
46. So
Yeah.
this
This is
is
starting to get a little dilapidated.
from working class to more of a hood.
Yeah. Citgo used to be a BP, like in 2018, 2017. There was a crazy shooting that went down, and the neighborhood kind of rioted for it. Burned this place down. There was a bunch of like unrest in this area, and they've since rebuilt it. But a lot of it was, a lot of gas station owners are like mostly like Indian, like, continental Indian. There was some friction between the customers and the ownership where it kind of got out of hand, and dude overreacted. Dudes came back later and burned the place down. And the whole neighborhood rioted for like a weekend.
Someone was like robbing his place. And
Yeah, kind of started like a chain reaction, made the national news. A lot of this stuff was on fire for a while, but it's come back a lot. So that's Sherman Phoenix. It used to be a bank there. That's now this kind of cultural center.
Oh, yeah.
People are running like their businesses out of there. It's like an incubator. That does really well. The bank, I think, has moved out. They're not even here. They said they were going to come back, but they never did. And so you'll get a lot of this too. A lot of like tagless cars driving around.
So the cops don't pull him over for
No,
that?
none of that. They let
Why?
them slide. They don't want to deal with it. If the windows are tinted, generally, it's like, they're
Seriously,
weighing it.
they don't pull a car
No.
over when it has no plates.
No,
So why do you need plates?
I don't know. You don't need to, I guess.
I haven't seen any police, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. That's a good sign then. in
Well,
my
is
opinion.
it? Do the locals want him here or not?
It depends on where you live, man. When something goes down, yeah. And by then, it's already too late. So in some cases, they help for the people that kind of, live in the neighborhood and work in the neighborhood. The cats that kind of do business in the neighborhood don't want them. And what I mean by doing business in the neighborhood is just like drug deals, right? George Floyd mule right there. And so those cats are like, screw it, we don't want those dudes, and they drive off, right? But for the most part, like you'll see some homes that are still in pretty decent shape. Those are like working class homeowners, man. There's the Milltown Mini Mart. ATM only costs you 75 cents. That's a deal.
Yeah. Wow.
Right? You got a Chicago sub shop right here. This joint's been here for a very long time, actually. That's been here since I was here in the 80s.
He's loving it. People love the 414.
Dude, this is Milwaukee pride, man.
414, bro.
Yes, sir. 414?
It's a popular truck around these parts.
Yeah, so far. These alleyways, dude, exist everywhere in the city. So, like, they're connectors to blocks and storefronts. So, like, that one's really messed up. But, like, that's where, like, a lot of shortcuts happen, man.
Okay. So what's the story of this neighborhood? This was
all German working class immigrants growing up here, man.
Okay.
In the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and the turn of the century. A lot of these like Sears type bungalows. These aren't the Sears type bungalows. That's where I kind of grew up. But these are typical of kind of this neighborhood here, man.
Germans.
Yeah, man.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, man? I haven't walked these neighborhoods since the 80s, dude.
So how was it in the 80s?
It's just like this, but nothing was broken.
Okay.
None of this was like this, man. Although this is kind of encouraging on the corner here, man. I see some guy building a fence.
Yeah.
So all these vacant lots,
yeah,
these used to be where homes were that over the years have burned down. They just left them. City owns it now. Okay. So they sell these lots for like $1. Or the neighbor next to it has an opportunity to buy it. This looks like it's new construction here.
Right, new fence coming in.
Instead of moving out of the hood, let's make the hood what we desired it to be.
Yeah, that's cool.
My son gave me this card for my birthday.
Okay.
And I cried because he never gives me a card, and I told him I don't want no more money unless it's in a card.
Oh.
And so for Mother's Day and my birthday, he gave me 2 beautiful cards. And if you read the words, it makes you cry. I cried. He said, Mama, don't cry. I'm like, you touched me.
Can you read it to us?
No, I don't have my glasses.
All right.
I'll read it. You want me to read it?
Okay, film while he's reading my card.
Watch her. Okay, there are some special people who make a difference in the lives of others, make the best of whatever life hands them, and make everyone else smile in the process.
You ain't recording.
I feel so...
You're not recording.
I'm recording.
Oh, yeah, the red light's on. I feel so blessed by you and your friendship. You have an openness that invites others in, a warm heart that makes others feel comfortable. I love the way love shines in you. Happy birthday.
See,
Love Pete.
Yeah, and I'm going to post this on my page when I learn how to do it tonight.
Wow, you're looking beautiful. Look at you, from
No,
the shoes, the dress.
No, I got to go get my nails and stuff.
Okay, how old? I know you're not supposed to ask, but how old for your birthday?
I don't mind telling my age. I'm 70 today.
Wow.
That's what I said.
And because my oldest son got killed at 35, so I'm blessed.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, you know.
What's your name?
Peggy.
Peggy. Peggy,
And-
happy 70th.
It's like the old school German architecture stuff.
So German used to be the language on the streets here.
Dude, we used to have 5 German newspapers, man. There's a Germania building where that's all that was like printed. And so, yeah, so the Milwaukee accent is a combination of this Irish sing-songy, oh gee, and the dis, dats, and the dares. Well, you know, you ain't gonna go and live in the city in this kind of neighborhood. It might be a little rough on you. And that's because of like the Germans butted up neighborhood-wise next to the Irish-speaking community.
So it's so crazy in the country how neighborhoods just switch. The Germans lived here and then like almost overnight they left.
Yeah, and that was because of the redlining that was going on. Like cats would go into these neighborhoods and purposely sell homes to people who couldn't afford it to bring down the value of their home, because those development companies were building the suburbs and they needed new buyers. So they would, run down the neighborhood, bring in, basically by dropping the value on a home that, wasn't quite up there. And then the realty company would say, hey man, we didn't really sell them that house. That was an umbrella corporation, but our realty company is developing this subdivision over here. Why don't you come, because your neighborhood's getting weird, man. Come out here where it's safer. So that's what they did. And they did that systematically in this neighborhood, man.
Oh, okay.
And this is what that looked like. This is what it looks like now because of that.
What's up, brother?
Peter.
How you doing, man? Chris G.
Chris G, what's going on here?
Hey, man, this is a little society here in Bronzeville, MLK, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is a space with me and my business partner, Tony Carter. It's a vibe. Anytime that you come to the city, you want to feel good, dance good, that's where you come to, right here.
Okay, what kind of dance do you guys do?
So we offer everything. I teach hip-hop every week, Monday and Tuesday, but we offer heels, reggaeton, contemporary, you name it, we got it. I'll open the jacket for you real quick.
There we go, there we go.
We'll do that, one of these.
Oh.
It's
beautiful.
You know? We'll move around with it, yeah. The 414, you know, yeah.
Is that a 414 style?
No, okay, so what is a 414 style? If you say you come here anytime you do this, and that people will recognize it. So we got the one right here. We're going like this here. Sometimes you give them a little bit of this. And then if you see somebody that you know, Fred, you're going to give me a tap, one of these, yeah, you get one of those right there, just like that.
You're from Milwaukee?
Yeah, so born and raised.
Okay.
From the north side. Only other place I lived was North Hollywood, but 414 has my heart through and through. I got it tatted on me, but and my number's still 414. It has been since the 7th grade.
Okay.
So legit 414.
So for those who know nothing about Milwaukee, what would you say is misunderstood about this place, or what should they know?
Sometimes I think they overlook the value. They say it's a small town, and usually you're looking at what you're seeing on TV, and you're misunderstanding that you got to be in the place to understand the place. You know, and you got to allow space to create space, and a lot of times people don't feel allowed in certain spaces, so they don't feel as if they can create there. But once they step into it and they see that they can, that changes the whole dynamic, like this place.
Hey, I tell the president what
This experience, we have everybody just introducing themselves. I don't want anybody to ever feel like they're on an island when they're here. No one's by themselves, so this is how you build community, is just having open space to allow people to be themselves. My mom got her master's in dance from UWM here. She's 66, still kicking it, still modeling, dancing full-time, certified yoga teacher, so I really don't have any excuse to not come correct, because she's still coming correct. So yeah, it's a very humbling space, and when you grow up in somebody's household like that, you got no choice but to be great. And that's what Fred does with the 414. As you notice, like that's what I'm repping right now. Yeah, it's what 414, yeah, so gotta rep that. So, you know, it's one of those things, man, I carry with me always. When you see me, you're going to see the 414, no matter what.
This is known as Capitol Drive. And so this is one of the big divider lines. Where the highway is right now is all neighborhoods, man. It's like in any other city. They just yanked out neighborhoods and put in the interstate. And so that's where one of the first segregation lines were. So we're heading now into a neighborhood. It's kind of an inner suburb called Shorewood that connects Milwaukee. Or not as a kid, it's right butts up next to it. And so a lot of this stuff is in Milwaukee County, but it's not in the city proper. So they don't share all the same resources.
The roads are different, obviously.
The roads are better, like instantly, right? Lawns are maintained. There's no trash overflow. None of that stuff, man. Of course, these guys, pay way more in property tax than we do in the city. So their homes are valued. Sometimes it's the same house in a different zip code is twice the value.
Okay, so how close is the hood to the really rich area here?
Dude, I'm telling you, man, a block away sometimes.
But
you could walk across the street.
This really nice area is...
This is 2 miles from where we work.
How much are these homes, do you think?
Millions, 800, 900.
Oh, wow, look at that.
So that's the lake. That's in Shorewood. That's called Atwater Beach. Looks like an ocean.
Really does. Beautiful homes here.
Yeah.
From what time period?
30s, 40s is when it started.
So who was living up here in the 30s and 40s? These are massive houses for that time, right?
Doctors, lawyers, captains of industry. The E-Line Electric family, we could probably drive past their mansion. Now it's just more wealthy cats. Upper middle management, entrepreneurs, business dudes. The dude who was in that band.
Look at that place, wow.
My mom used to clean that place, actually. Wow. This house right here, that dude in Fallout Boy, the drummer, used to live there. He just sold that house, had it built and sold it.
Are we back in Milwaukee because the roads are bad?
That's right.
Okay.
Absolutely. In fact, you can notice the street sign, it changes to like a lowercase and a Helvetica font.
Oh, okay.
So that's when you know when you're in Milwaukee.
The true 414ian knows that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So my mom used to clean houses after her factory job. And so she used to be a house cleaner for this thing. The guy that owns that, his family's like one of the top law firms. They have a building named after him and stuff. So my mom was like so beloved that when the guy that ran the law firm passed away, Gave her a fat kind of like not an inheritance thing, but hey, thanks for all the hard work you've done for me over the years. Broke my mom down, made her cry. It was crazy. Like she would pick up his laundry, drive him to work. The old man would vent, unpack all of the day's, crazy stories with her. And in a weird way, she would just sit there and like listen. And the old man needed it. And for that, he hooked her up. It's pretty crazy, dude. Kind of looks Miami, No.
A little bit.
Think so?
So you guys all come out here in the summers,
look,
get in the water.
I did, man. I do every day in the last couple of weeks.
And it's clean water.
It's clean and it's warm. It's not 90-degree warm, but it's 75.
Oh, you got beach.
Yeah, this is the beach right here. Check it out.
Oh,
Here.
yeah.
I'm gonna fan it off. So this is Bradford Beach. Volleyball courts, tiki bars. It could be maintained a little bit better.
Look at this. It's so cool.
I like it, man. It's old school.
Oh,
Needs a little
great.
help, though, man. Although the county's doing its job, they put out picnic benches. They clean and comb the beach every morning.
Beautiful.
I mean, look at that. It's pretty cool, right? Look at this iridescent, like, blue kind of shimmer. It almost looks silver. I think we've been living in the shadow of a world city like Chicago forever. And, they used to make fun of us because we were this kind of podunk, very simple kind of town with not a lot of flavor, not a lot of pride. And so my whole mission, designing, communicating visually, basically let people know in Milwaukee that it's okay to be from here. And when you travel, be proud about where you come from, not because of the beer or the cheese or the sausage or the stereotype, right? But be proud of what you do. If you're a dancer, if you build machines that change the world, whatever that stuff is that we do in Milwaukee, take that pride with you, man. Don't be ashamed of it. You can say I'm from Milwaukee, and that's damn cool. We are literally the ultraviolet light. You can see it in the water that guides the state.
Oh,
right? I mean,
wow.
We are, Milwaukeeans are fearless sunshine, polka dotting the night sky with our trophies and scars, right?
Very poetic, Fred.
Yeah, you put that shit on t-shirts.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
that
dude,
was
for sure.
awesome.
My pleasure.
That was a great snapshot of your city.
Thanks, man.
We went to different neighborhoods. I got flavors. To get into any big city like this takes days. But that was really nice.
Happy to have you anytime.
And I want to give a big shout out to the 414 Fred's Brand. What's the website?
414milwaukee.com.
All right, cool. Go there for the Milwaukee gear.
Thanks, man.
And I'm getting the full mafiosa Slavic jump kit.
Trust the bro. I got you, man. Trust the bro.
Guys, thanks for coming along on that journey.
See you guys.
Till the next one.
Look at that. Your stuff is great. Look at that zip action. Nice. Look at that. Down the sleeve detail. Yeah, walk it down, too. Yeah, sir. Look at that.